Hello, welcome to Film Dive Podcast, episode 62. Can I reel off some stuff that I've seen?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, I watched The Last Duel, Ridley Scott's new one, with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and the good actor that I should be able to mention, Adam Driver.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was good. I like a bit of Ridley Scott, especially when he does his medieval stuff.
So I was hearing mixed reviews for that one. I only watched part of it, so I'm withholding my judgment. But
we'll get into detail once you get around to it, I suppose.
But I'm hearing mixed reviews. But that kind of film, is very specific to a certain kind of audience. And if you're not that, you're going in expecting Star Wars, and it's not.
It's not. No, and it's not Gladiator, and it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like hundreds of armies facing off or anything, even though most of his movies aren't.
But anyway. I think the other thing is that he pissed off some people again by commenting on the current kind of movies that are getting made, Marvel and all those kind of action ones.
Like a Scorsese comment.
Yeah, he made all of the old directors these days seem to be making comments.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deny it, to be honest.
It's right. What he's saying, he's got a point. Like, okay, So, but the thing is, it is in a world where everyone's right and someone has a differing opinion,
an opposing opinion.
Someone just gets angry, and I think that's what's happened in this case. People just get upset because of what he said, but. Depends on what a movie is for you. Is a movie for you art, or is a movie for you entertainment? Not to say that watching a Marvel film, there's not art involved with that.
No,
but the audience that will go to watch that, they're going there for entertainment. They're not going to there and say, "Wow, check out that visual effect," or "Check out the cinematography in this shot."
That'd be a fairly small percentage because it's such a large percentage going to those movies. And
that's right.
Predominantly. It would be mostly, I'm not going to make any further comments about that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Before I get myself into trouble. But no, I mean, I enjoy those films. I'm a comic book nerd, and but enough's enough. Like I still enjoy the odd one here and there, but I've kind of tapped out on most of them, to be honest.
I think at this stage where we've got all these TV shows that are being created, and they, because they are TV, they don't have the same sort of focus on 3-act story structure and all that kind of stuff. They're not as good as the movies. And so a lot of people sort of go in, say, I'm going to watch this TV show, it's going to be just as good as the movies. But a movie you can spend 2 years on, and you focus on 90 minutes. On a TV show, you're spending less than a year on it. And it's, it's 6 hours long. So, of course, it's not going to have the focus. It's not going to have the same focus on story, narrative, attention to detail, and all of those points. And so this big focus on Disney Plus at the moment and all the other streaming services, let's make all of these TV shows so that we can get, eyes on screens, get our numbers up.
Yep.
But of course, a
lot of fluff.
Yeah, it's just going to be a lot of nothing, and the smaller budgets usually as well, so you might have 1 or 2 big action scenes, and the rest of it is just talking about nothing. So
welcome to the nothing. I've only seriously I only watched I've only seen what was it, WandaVision?
And I think WandaVision worked well because it was trying a new concept. Saying, hey, we don't have the budget for something massive. We'll put all the budget at the end of the series, but until then, we're going to focus on something new. And then all of the other stuff that's trying to be just like Marvel isn't working on that same level because it's trying to rehash something that it can't be. It can't be a movie because it could, because of everything I just stated. So
true.
Yeah.
And same with the Star Wars. I think it's working better for Star Wars. I've just watched the Boba Fett episodes.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Come out tonight. Yeah, it's okay.
So I like both of them, to be honest. The Boba Fett, is quite good. It's the same thing. But what I like about it is the technology. They've found a way of making really cool visual effects, putting people into the world, but they're doing it. They don't have to have this big giant post-production stage because they're doing it in camera. which is all stuff we talked about. You've got those big volumes where you're effectively projecting in real time whatever scene you want to see, which speeds up the whole process. It means you can actually create a TV show where every single shot is effectively a visual effects shot. And because of the storylines that they're sticking with, which are pretty much these sort of like an adventure story, really, where they're doing this, they're doing that, that leans itself to TV a lot better than the Marvel structure does.
Oh, yeah. 100%. You've nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they try and go big, I mean, Obi-Wan's coming out next, so that's when they'll probably will have to... They don't have to, really. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. But I think the format's working well for Star Wars over the Marvel, as you said, for those reasons.
Yeah.
And the movies were struggling. I didn't really like the Solo movie.
Well, that was a flop financially too, I believe. The rest of them. The rest of them.
Rogue One worked for me. For the most part as a standalone film, but Star Wars is not really something you can just pump out all the time. You need to choose. I mean, it's all been said before, and what they've done is it's working for it. So
yeah.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, it's making them money. So even though they're producing stuff that the fans are hating, it's making money because the general audiences are going. So
yeah, it's working.
That's
Anakin Skywalker would say, it's working. Yeah. No, I shouldn't do that. But anyway. Another movie I've seen. I'm gonna switch it up because we've we're on a strict time limit.
Yeah.
So another film I've seen. It's a horror movie called Antlers.
Right.
It was okay. It had a lot of potential. It was on Amazon Prime, so you can watch that on that if you're interested. But some really cool stuff in it. But then the third act obviously gets a bit hokey pokey. So anyway, I still recommend it. It's still worth a watch if you want to watch a horror movie, something just to
Speaking of Amazon Prime, I might as well throw a film in that I watched quite recently.
Do it.
So I was just scrolling through Amazon Prime as you do. I think there was one called Shadow in the Cloud. I believe that was the name of it. It went off to a really good start, to be honest.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I remember watching the trailer for it.
Yeah, okay. It was a smaller story, and I'm thinking this is a good story on a smaller budget. Things were going really well. I was really feeling it. There was a lot of twists and turns. It was, dialogue driven, so it was just lots of conversations. It was bringing up a lot of points, a lot of reflection on society. And then the last act, man, it crashed. It burned. They just tried to do all this really... It went from being what I could say was a nice sort of indie-style movie to they were trying to lean on the B-grade movie side of things then. Yeah. And the visual effects, there was one scene where she was climbing along the bottom of the plane as it's flying, as you do.
Oh, yeah.
And the visual effects were so bad. It's like, give me the shots. I will fix those up easy. But they were just terrible. And the story just fell apart at that stage.
Yeah.
And I completely lost interest at that point.
Well, it's sitting at 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb, so that sort of indicates...
It's kind of like they hadn't a good idea that started well.
Yeah, if they just sort of reined it in, just keep to the strengths of the budget and all
that's
that.
Right.
But
for some reason, I was reading on Rotten Tomatoes, some of the journalists were like, well, actually quite a few of them on Rotten Tomatoes was liking it, and I was surprised what they were saying about it. Yeah, so it was just interesting. Anyway, if you want to watch the first half of it, you can watch the first half.
Yeah. The next film is a really good one. I watched on Amazon Prime called Beautiful Boy.
Right.
Now, this one I related to in a lot of ways. It's got Steve Carell in it, Timothy Chalamet. I hope that's how you pronounce his name, but he's one of the new guys that's been killing it. He's the lead in June, and
he's doing
another one of The King, another one of my favorite movies. So this film is great. It's a true story about a relationship between a father and his son who's a drug addict, and the damage and everything, the relapse, the addiction, the journey and roller coaster of that. So, you know, it's very, very, very well made and acted.
Sounds deep.
Very deep.
Yeah.
For what it was, you know, it doesn't go overboard or over the line into unwatchable kind of territory. They sort of keep it within a entertaining and, I mean, it's got Steve Carell in it, so that kind of gives you like that indication that it's still quite a pleasant watch in a lot of ways, where it's, you know, it's not going to be an indie film that makes you feel gross or anything like that, you know? So it deals with the subject matter very nicely, and yeah, it's probably been one of my top films I've watched for a long time. I must say that's a must-watch for anyone that's concerned with that sort of subject matter, and it's definitely highly rated on my must-see list, I suppose I put it down to. It was got a great soundtrack. It's really nicely shot, and it sort of deals with the subject matter really well. So, you know, I'll leave it at that.
Very good. Well said.
I love seeing Steve Carell in serious roles, you know.
He does really well. I was shocked when I first saw him in that sport one. I saw it many years ago.
Oh, yeah. I like him in anything he does. I mean, he's just got that presence I always enjoy. But when he does something serious, you know, like even when he did Little Miss Sunshine many years ago.
Yeah, wow, that was great. That's gone back some time.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. I tried watching Encanto, the Disney one. Arlo didn't enjoy it at first, but then he started to enjoy it. Anyway, it's a mixed bag for me.
So I watched that one too, so I can sort of put my two cents in for that one. So see, I like the visuals. The visuals work really well.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The story itself, I didn't know where it was going. I don't feel like it was strong enough. Why do everything was fine? So everything was fine, going great, and then things had to fall apart to become good again. But why did things have to fall apart? It didn't really make sense to me. It's like in the prophecy, things are going to go bad. But what changed? I mean, they became stronger as a family. I suppose that's the message they're going for. But I just felt like the dots weren't connected enough.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough writing on any of it. There was no evil. There was no antagonist of really any antagonist in it.
Yeah, I was waiting for something to kind of come into it, but nothing really did.
Yeah, there was no stakes. What was the stakes? They lose their house, which is fine, but you know, I wanted something to. I wanted a reason to cheer for her, and I wasn't really getting it. Other than what? She wanted a hug. Right.
Right. On the flip side of that, Ron's Gone Wrong. It's a new one. This has come on to Disney. It's sort of like Big Hero 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Sort of about little robots. It's actually like, they're kind of like, it's like school kids, and then they get like they're like iPhones, but they're like little pod robots, little roundish kind of. Reminds me of so many other things, but that's the problem with the film. It reminded me of so many other things on watching it, but Arlo loved it, so
I think that was probably the purpose of it was just.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of good. Like, I did enjoy it. Like, I don't care that it kind of just felt like 10 other things.
Yeah.
It was good enough. It was a decent watch. Animation was good enough. It's pleasant, and it's got some weird stuff in it, but at the same time, it's fine. Like, it's rated at 7.1 on IMDb, which is, you know. But yeah, no, it's got some good stuff in it. You'd like it. Check it out.
Yeah, cool. So what was that? I did see the little screen for that, the little preview thumbnail. But I just figured it was a kid show and ignored it. What's the demographic for that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'd go from like a late primary school to middle, you know, like 8 to 12 or something.
Sure.
Would be the perfect kind of demographic, I reckon. But Arlo's 2.5, well, just over 2.5, and he loved it. So,
Yeah, right. Very good.
you know, it had him going. So, you know, he's very hit and miss with stuff sometimes. Like, he loves technology stuff. Like, I find him, he likes all the robots and stuff like that. Kind of grabbed his attention. But, yeah, he really liked the visuals of it, I suppose. Like,
Yeah.
I was surprised. Yeah. And I also watched a little short that's on Disney as well called Far From the Tree about 2 raccoons.
Right.
And it's like done old school kind of animated style, kind of. I think it's actually hand drawn. I'm not 100%, but Arlo loves it. I wonder if it is hand drawn. I'm not sure, but probably not. But it's done in that style anyway, and it's just it goes for about 7 minutes. I think they released it as the intro to Encanto or something like that. But yeah, I really like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, what streaming service you find yourself using most?
Oh, with Arlo or myself?
Just in general.
It would have to be either Disney or I don't know. It's all pretty even at the moment. Netflix and Amazon are pretty close because I sort of go between the two. Next on the list, I saw the new James Bond. I know you're not into James Bond too much.
It seemed to do pretty good at the box office though.
Yeah, it did okay. Not as good as SpiderMan.
Yeah, well, have you seen SpiderMan yet?
No.
Yeah, okay. It's
I want to.
Yeah, no, it was a good film.
What would you rank it on your list of Spider-Man films?
It won't be first.
Okay. Well, which one is first for you then?
Either the original one.
The Sam Raimi, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe the animation Into the SpiderVerse.
Ooh.
They're the ones that stick to me. Sentimental Value is probably the first one, just because I got the memories.
Of course.
And so that's a strong pull.
Yeah.
I tried to watch part of it the other day, and it hasn't aged too well. Just visually, just like, you know, not there.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Let's call it how it is.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's great, but it's terrible.
But then I guess the artist in me looks at Into the Spider-Verse and is in awe of what they managed to do there. There's
a new one coming out.
Yeah, there is. That's right. Yeah. So
Into the Spider-Verse 2.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with that character.
It's Across the Spider-Verse Part 1.
Yeah. So they're obviously making a trilogy of some description.
Yeah, well, it's got Gwen Stacy, what's the character's name? You know, the female Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to be probably the more of a bigger piece in this one, I reckon.
Yeah. I guess part of the reason why I like it is that it works when they can have fun with some of their more fun IP, and it's okay. It works. They can be cartoony. They can be over the top in this.
Yeah.
But if you were to try to put like some of those characters, like Spider-Pig or whatever it is called.
Oh yeah.
What was he called? Anyway, if you try and put some of those other characters in there, into like the real world, if you wanted to put it into the Marvel universe, it just really wouldn't work. So, but they can have fun, and since Sony own it, they can really own that franchise, and do what they want with it, which is it's good to see. It's something different that isn't just the typical Disney stuff.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing with that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't screw it up.
We'll see. We'll see.
Either way. Oh, I've got another thing. I tried watching the new Matrix.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I tried. At least I can say I tried.
Well, good on you for trying.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard enough about. Someone gave me the synopsis. I'm like, yeah, okay. That is not a good concept at all.
No. Totally disappointed.
Let's make all of the Matrix that has come before it a video game. All right.
Oh, I tell you what. Oh my God. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless because like I love the first one. Like the first Matrix is like
Oh, well, absolutely. That's a
perfection.
that's
You
a
know.
cultural, significance to everyone. I think.
Yeah. And how do you follow that up? Like even the other Matrix sequels were, they just got worse and worse and
Yeah.
worse. And this is worse, worse, worse.
And unfortunately, the directors haven't really had any film that stood out since, which is a bit of a shame. They tried. They had like Cloud Atlas and stuff like that, and some
Didn't
people
mind
liked
that one.
Some people liked it. I tried. It was just too slow, and I didn't grab me at all.
It is slow.
So
Speed Racer. I think that's fun. That movie. It's terrible, but it's
yeah,
it's that's what I like about it though.
Absolutely, it's so bad it's good.
It's so bad it's good. I love that about that movie.
Absolutely.
Another film I watched is called Ghostbusters. You might have heard of it. It's a brand new concept, never been done before.
I've never heard of it. What do
It's
they do? They
brand
bust ghosts.
Yeah. There's like
They bust them. They're doing wrong
see-through
things,
thing.
and they say, "Oh, you're busted."
Yeah, you've been busted, mate. You're ghosting me, are you? It's all about relationships, and when you get ghosted in a relationship, like Tinder.
Yeah.
So it's online dating. Yeah, and then you get busted.
If you ghost someone, don't turn up to a date. They're
You
going
get
to come and bust you.
Yeah, no, they got the online dating police.
Yeah, very good.
And yeah.
Tinder
Anyway, the Ghostbusters reboot is I didn't mind the first half an hour to 40 minutes. I think like I was actually kind of not minding it. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm a big fan of the old ones. So but I went into this after the last one that came out, thinking not having any expectations.
Yeah.
And I watched the Red Letter review of it, Red Letter Media review of it. So I already knew a lot going in anyway. So I was like, whatever. And I was like, okay, this is all right. This is entertaining at least.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I was like, nah, it's lost me now.
Yeah. Tapped out.
I didn't like the last act. I thought it was atrocious, and how they brought in the old grandpa, Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and the ghost version of Harold Ramis. Sorry, spoilers. Yeah, not good. Anyway, it could have been worse, but yeah. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 or something, maybe. I don't know.
So for me, Ghostbusters, it's one of those things that is of its time.
It is of its time, absolutely of its time.
And just to try and remake, where society was in that time, it doesn't really work.
Well,
there's a lot of films in the 80s that just won't work today, and they keep trying.
I know.
And they just don't work.
It's like, there was another one that's like...
The Terminator's going in the same route. They just keep...
Oh, Terminator lost it after the second one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Salvation was alright because it tried to do something different. But the rest, I just cringe. I can't even finish watching those ones.
Yeah.
I cringe. A cringe fest. And Matrix is the same thing. Like that's of its time, and just stop.
I don't know why they had to go back there. I would think that should have been.
Well, it was funny. There was this one real meta kind of line in the film, and Keanu Reeves or whatever is talking to one of the game producer, the boss guy or whatever, and he's like, I can't remember. It's something like this, and he's like, they're gonna make it without me anyway, or without us anyway, and they're kind of having a dig, saying the company was gonna make the Matrix sequels or whatever without the directors anyway, they had no choice basically.
Yeah, right.
So they did it, that they either do it or it's gonna get made anyway. Which would have happened.
Yeah.
So one of the brothers signed on to direct this one, or the other one chose not to.
Yeah.
So anyway, just thought that was pretty interesting. Probably the best bit in the whole movie.
Yeah.
The other film, 2 films I got to finish watching, but they've both been pretty good. The Power of the Dog. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, that's getting high ratings.
Oh man, that's a must see. I'll definitely watch that one.
Yeah.
That's like Oscar sort of bait kind of movie, but deservedly so, if I must say. It's a solid film. And Don't Look Up.
Oh, yeah, I have watched that one. Yeah.
You have watched that one?
I have. I finished it, yeah.
You finished it, and what did you think? I haven't finished it.
Right. No, I liked it.
Good.
I liked it didn't take itself too serious at times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And that worked because it was such serious sort of reflection on society.
Yeah, exactly.
So to be able to sort of have that step back and say, we're going to have some fun with this. But at the same time, we're talking about real shit that actually matters in today's society. And if we keep going the way we're going, this is what we're just going to destroy ourselves. It's
inevitable at this stage.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's exactly where we're going. I mean, there's not going to be any change to that.
Absolutely. And I guess that's the point of the story anyways. No matter what happens, people are going to get in the way and cause problems. I will say, though, since you haven't finished it, you need to stay till the end of the credits.
Cool.
Yeah, some post-credit.
All right.
There's two sort of post-credit sort of bits. There's one in the middle of the credits, and then there's another one right at the end.
Okay, sweet.
And those who are watching this, if you haven't watched the end of the credits, do it.
All right. They'll thank you for it.
Absolutely. But it is fun. It's good to see Jennifer Lawrence back. I have missed seeing her on screen.
Yeah, me too.
And all the other characters that were there. Jonah Hill's always fun to see him.
Absolutely. Meryl Streep.
Especially at her stage in her career where she's just saying, I'm going to have some fun,
Yeah.
I've won enough Oscars. I'm just going to have some fun.
Oh, Kate Blanchett and Mark Rylance.
Yeah, yep.
And there's also Timothy Chalamet in that as well, playing the skater teen.
Yeah.
And also Tyler Perry, I enjoy him.
Yeah.
When he's doing stuff like this, like in the David Fincher film.
Mm-hmm.
And Leonardo DiCaprio, like quite a different
of course
role for him. I thought it was good. It's good to see him doing something like this.
Yeah, he always surprises me with the stuff he does.
Yeah, he does. I love the director.
Yeah.
He did a movie called, he did Vice with Christian Bale. I really like that movie about Dick Cheney, the vice president. The movie's great. I love that film. I love his style, how he can blend serious matters through a comedic lens or whatever you call it. Like just having that, the way he can, and the visuals, the way he can be all poppy and stuff like that, and the way he'll use text and I don't know, like just the way he'll put together the his style is like really, I like it. It's kind of refreshing in ways and different for these kind of, and obviously kicking that all off with the Big Short. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, mate, that's up there.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people. I know a lot of people tuned out because there was a lot of sort of Wall Streety sort of crap that was going on in that one. Yeah, of course. It was a lot for people's brains, but
it
was very well made.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very well made.
Steve Carell, obviously playing a serious role in that as well. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like he's got like a good, and I think when comedy directors and actors, when they can pull off serious stuff or be able to utilize their strengths through, and build upon it, is just great. I think it works. I think it always has worked, and it does work, and it's something I always gravitate towards because it sort of gives it a new kind of vibe to it, or like a, because life is sometimes ridiculously silly and painful. Like it's like we experience the gamut of emotions in life, and sometimes when you're watching a full-on drama, it's just too much drama or too much one-sided, and life isn't always like that. Like life isn't like that. Like we get, and I think it's good to be able to reflect that through the tone. Like, and anyway, that's my little spin on it.
The thing I like about it is you walk away with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
When there's so many films these days that just want to live in the depresso world and just focus on the depressing. And I'm going to make this such a sad film, and I want to win an Oscar for it.
Exactly. It's
and
like
they usually do,
seriously, because it will make you cry.
Yeah, that's right. And it's great. Like, I have days where I want to watch something like that, but I have probably more days than not that I want to just watch something fun and I want to enjoy myself. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that you still can't touch on serious subject matter. Reflect on today's, society and, our flaws in society and global warming and everything that this really is an allegory for. I think to sort of, masquerade all that in a comedy film is genius. Well done.
Yeah. Well said. 100%. So, another TV show I've sort of watched through the year was The Mayor of Easttown with Kate Winslet.
Sure.
I smashed that one out. One season, loved it. It was good. Not perfect or not fantastic, but it was good. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10 or something like that. But yeah, Kate Winslet's awesome.
Yeah.
She's always good to watch. And Guy Pearce as well. And, everyone was pretty good in that. And North Water. The North Water. That's really good. I'll give that like a 9 out of 10. I won't say much about that one because I just think if you know, you know, and if you don't, just go check it out.
Sure. Anyway, I guess we'll leave it there. So make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Adios.
Thanks for watching Mini Academy Online. If you'd like to explore more about content, click on this or click on that. Like and subscribe, thumbs up, ring bells, do a dance, sing a song, drink a hot cup of tea or coffee, and I'll see you in the next one.